Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So, we are back in Ashley's shop. As you can see, Ashley's taking some pre-measurements here for the suspension setup. But we're going to be installing this Kenny Brown K-member and arms and Kenny Brown K-link today. And Kenny Brown upper controller. And Kenny Brown radiator support. So, it's going to be a full day of work here, but I'll try and show some of it as we go. And yeah, Bentley's out here flying his timber. Doing some flying around the pond over there. Alright, so we're getting the front suspension taken apart. Ashley's got this sweet support tool made for S197s to hold the motor up. So basically you got to take out, he's already started doing some of it, but he's got to unhook all the spindle stuff, and then basically just going to drop the whole K-member with the arms and the steering rack all out at the same time. So took some measurements on the ride height and alignment before we start taking it apart, so that way we have a baseline to go back to. Okay, so Ashley drilled out the spindles for the larger ball joint on the new arms. Right now he's getting the jack underneath it to support the K-member. We got the motor unbolted from the K-member, so just got to take the bolts out of the stock one and drop out the old one. Okay, K-member's out. Cleaning it up a little bit. Ashley assembling the steering box on the K-member. So we're just getting ready to slap all that back in. Alright, K-member is in. Ain't that pretty? Got all that room. Now with this K-member, you also get revised geometry on this lower control arm. So it actually is going to push the wheel a little forward, increase the caster, change the weight balance a little bit, and all kinds of stuff. Okay, so now we're putting in the radiator support. So Ashley's unbolting the sway bar right now from the stock one, and those will bolt right onto here. So, all right, so the front brakes are back on. Everything is tightened up. Notice the angle on the arms and the steering. Everything is nice and aligned, and everything is noticeably shift forward. So we got the radiator support in, which is kind of hard to see. It's down in there at the very bottom. So anyways, and then Ford Racing strut tire brace, add to the list. So now we're gonna do a quick check with some strings, then put us back to where we were before, so that way when we set it down on wheels and tires, we're close-ish on the alignment, and we can go from there. And then we'll start messing with the rear end. Okay, so we got the upper out. You see the difference between the Kenny Brown and the stock one here. Got the panhard bar out. Everything's just kind of hanging out. Got to drop the tank to get the upper out of it. So we'll go ahead and slide this new one in there and go from there. Okay, so the K-link necessitates a much higher spring rate, and so I actually had these springs. These are 600 pounds? 700 pounds. 700 pound springs. In order to get them to work on the KW/Roush coilover setup, you had to machine down the lip or the adjuster just a little bit to get the spring to slip over it. So I got the upper control arm installed, and so now we're getting ready to set up the K-link. Alright, so we got the Kenny Brown K-link installed. This thing is crazy looking. So everything's pretty much buttoned up, so now we're going to put the wheels and tires on it, drop it down, and start playing with ride height adjustments. But as you can see, K-link looks crazy. Alright, well, that's our new ride height, player. Shee! Just kidding. That's not what track cars look like. So we gotta lift it back up and make an adjustment to the rear here. As you can see though, 315s fit no problem. Okay. We got the 27.5 in the rear and about 27 in the front. It's a little off, a little higher in the left rear, which will probably go down when I sit in the car. But everything's pretty close. Just eyeballing the toe looks about right. So we'll check it when we get home. But it's good enough to drive home, I think. Good enough to drive. So now we gotta torque everything down, take it for a test drive, and make sure it's not making weird noises or clanks, and make sure it's safe. Okay, so just got back from the test drive. You can see the relative position of the wheel and the wheel well now. It's quite a bit farther forward than original. The wheel is turned a little bit to the left, so that makes it seem more obvious than it is. It's not that bad with the wheel straight, but with the arms kind of canted forward and the wheels farther forward with the added caster, like Ashley said, it adds more camber when you turn the wheel. So when you turn the wheel in, it actually adds camber to the side that's turning in. Well, it probably reduces it on the other side, but it doesn't really matter. So anyways, car felt okay. I didn't really get to take any crazy turns or anything, but there is definitely more NVH from the motor. Now has completely solid motor mounts, and all the suspension is now solid. But feast your eyes on that little bad boy. Pretty sick. So we'll explore the handling improvements once we get a chance to actually go on a road that has corners and stuff. So, but we're gonna get cleaned up and drive this thing home. This thing is absolutely filthy. I haven't washed it since my trip to the river a few weeks ago. So anyways, hope you guys like the Kenny Brown makeover on the Project Red Baron, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, guys, so we're home. Got the car aligned. Well, aligned by me. I got the right height set, 27.25 all the way around. I tried getting the back a little higher, but the left side's kind of maxed out, and it's sitting at just about 27.25. But I got the front raised up a little bit. I was running into some rubbing issues under hard turning in parking lots and stuff because the wheel is so much farther forward now that it's rubbing into the skirt, not the fender or anything. But anyways, got the front lifted up just a little bit. It was sitting too low anyways, so it's all lifted up now. Looking good, needs to be cleaned. Thing is absolutely filthy. Pretty stoked on it. I'm not a real big fan of the increased vibrations from the solid motor mounts, but it is what it is. Maybe at some point I'll be able to find a workaround for that. I was hoping I could maybe use some of the urethane parts from my old motor mounts, but I don't think I'll be able to. So anyways, we'll get this car all sorted out, but for now it's pretty sweet, just filthy. Huge thank you to Ashley for not only giving me a killer deal on the parts, but doing most of the work installing them all. So his expertise on this chassis is pretty awesome. So huge thank you to Ashley, not only for his help, but for his friendship and everything that he does for us. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.